I know what you want, and in this video, I'm gonna show you how to get it. You want a perfect Kodi media center setup with a smooth, clean and beautiful look, a simple and structured layout with all of the most essential and useful information easily and conveniently available at the tip of your fingers. In this 3-part video guide, I will show you step by step how you get that perfect Kodi setup for your local media content. There's no coding required, but a passing familiarity with Kodi and some technical know-how will be an advantage. I will be using Windows for this guide, but it should work on most devices running Kodi. In the first video, I'll show you how you can manage your movies and add all the necessary artwork and metadata that we'll need for everything to look beautiful in Kodi. In video 2, we will be installing and setting up Kodi with all of the necessary plugins and modifications required to show our movies with all of the artwork and metadata that we added in part 1. Finally, in part 3, I will show you how you can change a few lines of XML to make everything look beautiful with all of the right information in all of the right places. Let's start first by taking a look at the end result.
Before I get into the tutorial, I briefly want to cover my reasons for using a media manager for managing artwork and metadata instead of just letting Kodi handle it. Both options are totally fine and it's really down to a matter of personal preference. But I prefer using a media manager for the following reasons. First off, your artwork will be stored along with your movies so that it can be used by other clients such as Plex or Emby. Having your artwork and metadata with your movies also means that you don't lose it unless you lose your movies too. And the second reason is that I also find it much easier and more convenient to control and manage my artwork from my PC rather than from Kodi, which is running on a media center that I only really access with my remote control. Finally, I find Media Manager software to be more reliable than Kodi plugins, and I like the many more options that Media Manager gives.
We used to look up in the sky and wonder at our place in the stars. Now we just look down and worry about our place in the dirt.
By following this guide, you'll get an awesome looking and fully customizable start screen for your movies, your TV shows, and whatever other home screens you like. You'll get a super awesome looking and feature-rich media center that will make all of your movies and TV shows available from the click of your remote. You'll have IMDB ratings, Rotten Tomatoes critics and user ratings, Oscar nominations and wins, and movie art like screenshots, logo, discart, and much more. You'll get a feature-rich movie player with a cool looking and user-friendly UI and important features like subtitle download, subtitle delay adjustment, audio track selections, and much more. And finally, you'll get a structured and clean TV library with all of your favorite TV shows perfectly indexed, making it easy to keep track of what you've seen and when your next favorite show is coming out.
Learn the magic of reading.
So you f***ed a bunch of chickens?
Yes, exactly. Don't you see?
Before we start messing with Kodi, it's really important that we perfectly manage our content. For this setup to work, you will need proper folder and file naming structure, as well as proper NFO files for all of your content, fully populated with artwork and metadata. Since Kodi cannot do this properly, we're gonna need some help. Now there are lots of great programs for handle media, but for this guide, I will be using Media Companion, which is a free program that works really well. Now for most Kodi setups, you'll have a client running Kodi, a file server for hosting your content, and a computer from which you can add and manage your content. However, for this guide, I will be managing content, hosting content, and run Kodi off the same client. But your setup might be slightly different.
So let's go ahead and download Media Companion. You can use the link in the description below this video or simply Google Media Companion and click the SourceForge link. It should be the top one. Once you get to this page, you simply click the green download button and then wait a few seconds until your download starts. Once it's done downloading, you can go ahead and open it. where you might be met by this screen if you are running Windows Defender. Simply click the small More Info link and then click Run Anyway. And then you want to click Browse and select your desktop for now. Once it's done unpacking, you want to rename this folder to Media Companion and then move it into your Program Files folder. Once it's there, run the executable. And then right-click on the taskbar icon and click Pin to Taskbar.
Now that we have Media Companion installed, we need to change a few settings and add a couple of API keys so we can download Rotten Tomatoes and IMDB ratings as well as other artwork and metadata.
So we will click the Preferences menu in the top of Media Companion. Now personally, I like to add VLC as my default media player here for when I want to play a movie or a TV show directly from Media Companion, typically just to check if the file works, but you can just skip this if you don't care. And everything else here you can just leave as is. What we want to change is over in the Common Settings tab, so let's go there. Firstly, I will just change this fan art sizing to 4K because I have a 4K TV and I want it to look as good as possible. Now for the really important part here, which is the API keys for scraping metadata, we will need to create these 3 keys here. They are all free and all you need to create them is an email address. So let's do that. So we are going to start with the movie database one by clicking the MovieDB link here. Once it opens this page, we're going to click Sign Up. And then create an account by filling in these details here. Be sure to write down or save your username and password as you will need it to log in the next step. And then click Sign Up. It will then show you this page prompting you to confirm your account by clicking the link in the email you've just received, so let's do that. And then once we've confirmed our email address, we're going to log in with the account that we just created. Once logged in, click the user icon in the top right corner and click Settings. Then click API in the left side menu. And then click the link to generate a new API key. And click Developer. Scroll down and accept the terms and conditions. And then fill in this form. Once you've done that, go ahead and click Submit, and you will then get your API key. Copy the API key from here. And paste it into the Media Companion Common Settings and click Apply. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is the fanart TV. You click the link and it's pretty much the same progress, so click Register. Enter a username and an email address and click Register. You will then receive an email with an activation link. Click the link in that email and then choose a password that you can remember and click Reset Password. It will then send you to the login screen and you just log in by using your email address and the password that you just selected. Once you're logged in, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the Create API Key link in the footer of the page. Then click Generate Personal API Key. And then copy the key you get into Media Companion as you did with the movie database key. Click Apply and then click the link on the OMDB API. Once on the OMDB API page, click API Key in the top menu, choose Free and fill in the form. And once done, we will receive this email with the API key and the link that we need to click to activate the key. Once you click the link, it will say that your key is now activated. And if you want, you can click the other link to test if it works. If it does, it should look something like this. Once you confirm that your key works, you want to copy it into Media Companion. And click Apply.
Now that we have created and added the API keys to fetch all of the artwork, we need to be sure that our movies are ready to be scraped. Media Companion can rename files and folders automatically, but they need to be named in a way that they can at least recognize. So for this guide, I have created the folders with just a few movies, so it's not gonna take forever to scrape them.
In short, all of your movies should be in separate folders named by title of the movie, followed by a space, and then the release year of the movie in brackets. And inside each folder, the file name should be the same title followed by release year in brackets. If your folders look like this, Media Companion can rename those for you as it scrapes your movies, but it's not a perfect process, so I would advise that you rename your folders yourself, at least if you only have a few movies like this. Finally, if you have a movie that maybe is a small independent movie that Media Companion can't find by title and year, you can replace the year in the folder and file name with the IMDB ID, like I have done with Stardust here. The IMDB ID is the part of the URL starting with TT when you are on the movie profile page on IMDb, as shown here. Now that our movie folder is ready to be scraped, let's go to the settings of Media Companion and check that they are all properly set. On the Common Settings page, beside the API keys that we have already added, you can add specific words in the Clear File Name settings here. This will help Media Companion rename your files and folders when you scrape your movie library. We're going to skip the Actors tab and go to the Movie Preferences. If you want, you can pause the video and just copy my settings, but make sure you select all the boxes in the IMDb section here. Select user folder names for scraping. Let's go over to the artwork tab. Again, you should pause and copy my settings here, but at least make sure you have this Save Fanart TV artwork as movie name artwork, or your artwork won't show up in Kodi later. Let's go to the General tab. And again here you should just pause and copy all of my settings. And on the Renaming and Naming tab, I suggest enabling the rename folders and rename movies, but that is at your own risk. And if you use this feature, you need to remove the %n/ from the folder name line, unless you want Media Companion to move all of your movies into movie set folders, which is something that I find highly annoying. I prefer my movies to all just be placed in the root folder instead of having a folder called the Alien movies and then having all the Alien movies in that folder. I prefer to just have all my Alien movies in the root folder, if that makes sense. Again, you can pause and copy my settings, but I think they should all be fine. And you can skip the Advanced tab, it should all be fine as is. So let's close this down and go to the Folders tab and click Add Movie Folder Browser and navigate to your movies folder. Once you've added your movies folder, click Save and Refresh, and then go to the main browser tab and click Search. Now it's going to start adding your movies, and this could take a while. If you see an error when it tries to rename your folders, this is probably just because your folders already have the right names, so it can't rename them, so you can just ignore that. This could take a while, so let's fast forward. Once it's done, you can close down the status window. Now if you open up your movie folder, you should see that the files and folders are now named properly. And each movie has artwork and an NFO file added in its folder. We're going to go back into Media Companion and select all of our movies. Right click on them and choose Rescrape Specific, and in the submenu choose Artwork from Fanart TV.
Now once it's done downloading all of the extended fan art, I highly suggest that you go to each movie, open the fan art tab and select your own fan art and thumbnails. Let me explain why. Fan art is the backdrop image that Kodi uses behind the movie's metadata. Typically, you'll want to choose something where the point of focus is not important. So avoid pictures with big faces or pictures with text or a logo or something like that, which in some way can be ruined or hard to make out if part of the image is covered by a poster or a movie thumbnail. Extra fan art is the same as fan art, but if you enable this feature in Kodi, instead of there being one static picture behind each movie, it will toggle between several pictures. I don't like this, as I don't want to spend time selecting several pictures for each movie, so I will just skip this. Extra thumbnails is the thumbnails that Kodi will be using for each thumbnail, and for this, I highly recommend choosing real screenshots from the actual movie. If you don't do this, you will get annoying artwork and other such graphics showing up as thumbnails, and that looks really shitty. Now I know that this may seem like a ridiculous task if you have lots of movies, but I've personally done this for more than 1,000 movies, and despite it taking a long time, it's totally worth it. While I've been talking over this, you can see me choosing art and thumbnails for a few movies on the screen here, which should make it pretty obvious how it's done, so hopefully you can figure it out for yourself. Remember to always use Media Companion for adding and making changes to your movies, as any changes made in Kodi will not be saved properly to your folders and NFO files. Finally, let's take a look at what your movie folders look at now. to confirm that the artwork and the NFO files have been properly created.
So let's go back into our movies folders, and now if you go into one of your movie folders for any mainstream movie besides the movie and the NFO file, you should see a banner, clearart, clearlogo, discart, fanart, keyart, and a poster. And also there should be 2 folders named extrafanart and extra thumbs. Finally, let's just check the NFO file. I'm using Sublime to open it, but you can use Notepad if you like. Your NFO file should look something like this, and importantly, if you scroll down to the ratings tag, you should see IMDB, Metacritic, Tomato Critics, and Tomato Audience scores, as well as the number of votes.
That's going to be it for the first part of this 3-part video series. In the next video, we'll be going over how to install Kodi with all of the necessary plugins and modifications that we need to show all of the metadata and the artwork that we added to our movies in this video. If you like this video, please show me so by hitting the thumbs up button. And if you dislike this video, please show me by hitting the thumbs down button twice. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below this video. And if you'd like to see more of this content, hit the subscribe button. That's going to be it for me. Thank you very much. Until next time. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful. This is the first video that I've done in a long time, so any kind of feedback or constructive criticism would be very much appreciated. Hopefully you could understand what I was saying throughout it. I do tend to speak kind of fast, and I do sometimes have a bit of a Danish accent, but hopefully you could make all of it out. If not, I will be sure to make some subtitles that hopefully that will help. That's going to be it for me, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments as well, and I will be sure to reply to all of them. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.